Welcome to the Purple Pants Podcast as we continue our coverage of Amazing Race season 34. And of course, if we talk an Amazing Race, I could not do it without my partner in crime, the winner of Amazing Race season 29, the queen herself, Brooke Camhigh. And where the bell at? Yes.
Damn, they're already my favorite.
We are joined by our favorite couple, Mattie and Quinton.
Yes.
And we are so excited that you guys are here. What I want to know is, we know that you guys are cheerleaders. What did you bring from cheering to the Amazing Race?
Oh, so much. I think our knowledge of obviously just retention and high energy, that's a given. But I think our ability to adapt as a professional cheerleader, especially, I mean, we've been in a couple like high stakes games. A lot of things change on the fly. Hey, this girl can't do this. Hey, you have a promo here. Hey, I need you to be this and be there. So it's a lot of that kind of went into how, I would say, I can't say how great we did last night because that was rough, as you saw. But
hey, listen, we're still here.
Listen, that's all that matters.
All that matters.
And truly, we did need to learn a little bit. So I'm just grateful that we get to see another leg. But I do think our cheer background gave us like the ability to correct, right? If something goes wrong, things are out of your control, like you still have to perform under pressure. And I think I said that on the episode too. It's like, we're getting to this challenge and we know how to perform under pressure. We just got to show up.
Yes.
So we did, as you're saying, almost see you go home this week. Question, as someone who got an edit that was like not awesome, were there moments of panic or anger? Was anybody blaming anybody that they just didn't show? Or are you guys genuinely just really kind to each other and just super supportive and way more zen than I think I was ever on the race?
One, we loved.
We love you. I love
remember that strainer, Brooke. I can't do it. Like, no, you can. And look what happened. Winner.
Watch me on mute. On mute. I'm decent. It's accurate. Sorry.
No,
interview.
Our thing going into it, and one of our strengths, because we're platonic friends, is we are very big about like energy and keeping our energy good. And there's a balance. You don't want to be Asta and Nina and be too zen out and too, it's okay, baby. But sometimes being real, like we know for like who we are as people, neither of us respond well to talking down, and it wouldn't benefit either of us. So we knew going into everything that the last thing we can do is make the other person feel bad. No matter if they like blow a challenge, we get super lost, like we have to make it through it. So we just have to keep that kind of focus to move past it and then cry later.
There's a couple of times where like in the car where like I would have a moment or Mattie would have a moment. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, take like 2 minutes, like have that moment because by the end of the day, you got to get it back. And it's not over until it's over. And it's not over until Phil says you're the last freaking team. So, whoo, what a
it was a nail biter. That was
Quinton, for you, how did it feel to be one of the first male cheerleaders in the NFL?
Oof. It's crazy because it's something I didn't even think about. I've choreographed for Mattie. I've danced with some of the girls on the team before in college and like in the industry. So I was like, me trying out for the team wasn't like I want to be the first. It was like, oh, I want to dance with my friends again, like that I've been like I've been doing. So I didn't expect all the accolades and everything to come out of it, but it literally changed my life. And it's just crazy that a decision that was made on a whim, like one, got me a Super Bowl ring. One, like I got a best friend here who just got engaged and I'm about to be in that wedding. She doesn't know it
I got
yet.
my own ring.
And then but we got a chance to like travel the world together because of a silly thing that I just wanted to do a couple of years ago. So, and now there's 45 plus men in the league. A lot of teams are changing the way they are kind of running things, which is cool to see. But it was just cool to kind of open doors to people that I didn't know were closed. And now being able to step into that power is like, oh, wow, hold on. I guess that was a cool decision. And the fact that it's just literally Mattie was there the entire time. Like I texted her like that I was going to be at audition. She was my audition partner. You know what I mean? And then she ended up being my captain. So it's just crazy how life works and how this whole thing kind of circled around each other.
And you just kind of like go through the motions, but you don't realize like how incredible what you're doing is until it starts rolling in. And then now we have like hindsight, right? Like we look back at our experience cheering and we're like, wow, that doesn't happen. Like I was right alongside the first cheerleader in the NFL. Like how cool is that?
Yeah, you've changed the sport. Like that's very, very cool.
It's amazing. And I just think representation is so big. And like, you know, have you out there, to even have you as a Black male on The Amazing Race is like so important. I was on Survivor, and when I was on Survivor, there weren't a lot of diversity. And so my mom always challenged me to like make something better, leave it better than what you left it. And so I was a part of like the diversity initiative on CBS to have like casts like this and to get to see these stories. And so when I get to see like your friendship with Mattie and you together, it just like, it warms my heart. So I just, you know, I love it.
Oh, I love it all. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm trying to get on that Zaddy calendar.
I mean, listen, I don't know. I mean, we opened it up last year with Ryan, but I mean, I definitely think 2024 might have Quinton's name on it.
Okay, I'm Virgo. September is my month, so that's
this is recorded. Just pull it back out. That's the lawyer brain. Okay, so I'm taking it back to the race a little bit. So what did you both find to be the hardest part about it? I mean, you're platonic friends, so you were never gonna get divorced over what happened. But was it the go part? Was it I don't know if there were any language barriers. So like language barriers, was it just being around each other all the time? Was the physicality something else? What did you two find to be the hardest part of the constant going?
Is being thorough. That was hard because like rule number 1, read your clue, which you saw me and Quinton do a lot of not in this last episode. But
I think you read it. I just think you thought things were in a different country than they were in. It's fine.
No, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that, Brooke.
Okay.
It was okay. So what they showed was the biggest blunder. The entire day was chaotic because it's like it's okay. But you know, Brooke, like you know, if like when something bad happens to you on the race, like if you don't recalibrate, then you're just reacting to what gets thrown at you, and you're often reacting not logically, right? And for us, the biggest thing I think, I'm putting Quinton on blast, but when we started, I was like, Quinton, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And I told him that, right? And he goes, yeah, well, if the clue says that we need to go here, then I'm running there. And I'm like, okay, yes, but like we got to stop and slow down. And I knew that was because we're both so go, that reading the clue and missing those like little details was going to be a challenge for us, especially if we didn't agree in a specific situation. Like if Quinton's like, go, but I'm like, wait a second, you know, that was probably our biggest challenge.
Okay. I agree.
Anything you want to add about not going to Austria? I know you said you wanted to discuss it. We're here to let you know.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they showed it, but the lady that we asked for the instructions was obviously in a rush. And even though the clue said go to Austria, and we gave her the address that said Osteria, I didn't know what that was. Wow. You know, see, exactly. They don't tell you these things. So
that sounds like a Lady Gaga song.
Osteria. You know what I mean? Like, over the O.
Sounds like an Italian restaurant.
Right.
Thank you. No, in LA, absolutely. Osteria La Buca. That's exactly what I was thinking about. So then she puts in the address, but she didn't put in Osteria. So she puts in 134, whatever, Happy Lane. So we thought, okay, well, we have to go pick something up, then we go to Austria. So, I mean, luckily we were only 15, 20 minutes out the way, but it was that mistake. And it was us, I guess it's out. I guess we can take the blame. We didn't put it in her phone for her. You know what I mean? It's like, no, put Austria.
Oh my gosh, listen, he comes back at the end of the leg and he was like, that girl's so dumb. Like, why wouldn't she put in the like Austria? I was like, well, she is a pedestrian in Germany. Why is she thinking that these random Americans are trying to bust over to Austria right now? Like, there's the same street.
She was so dumb. I agree.
Like, I was upset.
I guess my question is, and I feel like this is the biggest question. Now, haven't been a huge Amazing Race fan. Brooke has been getting me into Amazing Race. And so I love to critique and I love to see things, but how prepared were y'all for how big those damn maps were. Like when y'all were opening up the maps, I was like, what? How, like they were taking up the whole back seat of the car.
I stand by. I can't believe they got maps. That's all. Feel free to answer the question, but I say they're lucky to have had maps. Please.
Oh, when we got into the car in Germany on the first leg, we're like, okay, let's go. Let's take a look at this map. Okay.
Right.
Okay. And I'm like, okay, let's get out.
But I will say, I think the maps came into play because they tried to keep us away from people. So
that's fair.
You know what I mean? So they give us the car and then they don't want us going into the gas station as much as possible because we were COVID tested every freaking day. And that I can see why you're upset.
No, I'm not upset.
I'm
never upset. No, you know, I'm always I'm never negative. It's I'm here to balance out. I'm balancing out Brice's like sunshine.
Gotcha,
I'm like the clouds to his
gloom.
sunshine.
Gotcha. No, but there were multiple. So that would be confusing too. Like they give you I would say a country map, the almost like county, and then the city. So then you're like, if you don't know which map you're opening, you're like, hold on. So then, I mean, Mattie can talk about it. After that leg, we went into that hotel room and dissected every single thing we did wrong, and then realized, hold on, the freaking map. Remember this, Mattie, when we were in the hotel and you're like, wait, the maps have the sizes on it. Wait, so this, and then I was like, what do you mean it has sizes on it? So like, and then at the bottom it tells you what it's like.
You look at the route we took, and then we look at maybe what everybody else took, and we're like, oh, so we could have gone like this, and we decided to go
scenic route.
Well, damn, then thank goodness you guys are like basically legitimately professional dancers, so that you came in and aced the last thing, because it sounds like you went real roundabout. Is there sorry, no, go. Mm-hmm. No?
Oh no, I was just saying it's frustrating because when you look at the caliber of the challenges and how well we did in the actual challenge, we would have won this leg. And I think it's so hard to like look at it took Marcus and Michael 5 attempts when we like, you know what I mean? Like we just could have got there.
I do know what you mean, yes.
That's when it gets frustrating. But hey, we needed to get humbled. Honestly, we were a little cocky after that first round, first leg.
Only one leg that matters. Is there one thing that you wish you'd done before the race started more to get you prepared, and why is that thing driving stick shift? It just seems to be everybody's. Is there anything that you wish that you'd done before to be better prepared, without saying, you know, if it's something that ultimately sent you home?
Well, we did. I mean, we both took stick shift lessons.
Good for you.
It was rough, but I mean, again, it's different being somebody's in Jorge's like Honda Civic in Corona, when you know what I mean, than a RAV4 on the race, you know what I mean, with a camera in your face. It's different, but you'll see next week.
One thing that I wish we could have, one thing I wish, like, luckily, like we have a strong dynamic with each other, but we don't get to see each other every day. So the months preparing, even before we found out we were actually going to be on the race, and then once you get in front of people, we realized we were with like 7 couples that probably live together and spend every day together. We hadn't, like, aside from interviews that we did for the auditions, we didn't spend much time together leading up to the race. And I think just like that extra time of being able to just like sit and watch the show and take notes on it together, because we did that. We did all of our studying by ourselves, but to be able to talk about it together, I think would have been great.
What's your thoughts on in the race when people are like, oh, they're taking off, we'll just follow them, and they're just following them?
Well, you heard, Quinton, we're running our own race.
I don't like followers. I think if you can team up with somebody, yes, but I don't, like, you know, certain challenges kind of like warrant that, but I don't know.
Well, look at Tim and Rex, who followed Marcus and Michael. And from what I have learned from like previous racers and from like other podcasts is that you can, like, if you following a team, the people that are leading are the ones that are going to end up on top, right? Like if you train yourself to be a follower, then that's how are you going to get through the final leg, right? So we were not a big fan of that. And I think this episode was unfortunately a good example of what happens or what could happen if you follow people.
What's your thoughts on like teaming up? I know last season, some of my good friends, Lulu and Lala, it was that challenge in the water and they like helped that one team get there. And when the girl got the clue, she was out. Okay. Lulu was like, she just left me. Like I would be like, take this mic off. I'm about to cut. Like I was like, right.
We would be too.
That's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
like, you have to know, like, are we teaming up for the entire leg? Is it just this challenge? Like, you know what I mean? I think that's something that you can kind of say real quick, like, hey, do you want to do this part together? And that's it. You know what I mean? Like this,
Right.
But I think you have to be very transparent. But I don't mind if I think teaming up when you're not in last is obviously fine. Like if you're not towards the back of the pack, like sure, like if we're just trying to, again, like Brooke said, there's only one leg that matters. So if we're just trying to get by, like we're in the middle, we're both in the middle, let's just do it together so we can just make sure at least we're in.
I say that because we middled the entire race. I say that only one leg matters because for the beginning we were like 4th and 6th and 7th. Like the people who are in the middle at the bottom will say stuff like that to make themselves feel better. I do have to say that, Brice, I'm like incredibly impressed here because I heard Mattie say when we were studying and preparing before we even found out we got on the race, like this is my kind of people because you guys didn't even know you were going on and you prepared as if you were going on. Because there are people who are like, I didn't know and I found out last minute and so I just threw everything together. No, you prepare as if you're going to go. So I'm not supposed to say like I don't know how far y'all go, but I hope it's real.
And I give Mattie a lot of credit for that because I mean, we both have 2 crazy lives and stuff. And she was the one that, hey, you need to watch this episode. No, you need to listen to this podcast. I'm like, Mattie, I'm tired. But no, listen to it on your way here. Do what you got to do.
I would send him, like I was doing like world flags quizzes and I memorized like, I think there's 197 and I memorized them and I sent him my quiz result. And I was like 96%, look at that.
And then Quinton was like, so I don't need to know that.
Exactly. I'll drive.
And then he responds and goes, so like what color leggings should we wear?
Look, both things are equally important, I think. So here's my last question. And I want to ask this to everyone. So what team or individual player, because you might not like the whole team, would you most likely want to share a beer with after the race? And maybe which would you want to throw a beer at if you want to, share both sides of it? But who do you think, who would it be cool to hang out with outside the race?
I think we're both on the same page. I was in Miami like 2 weeks ago for my birthday and I hung out with Louis and Michelle. So that's nice. And they're a good time. But even like when we were in a little like quarantine moment at the very beginning of the race, I looked at Mattie and I said, Mattie, I like them. And mind you, we're all in masks. Everybody's like, you can't speak. And I looked at her and I said, I like them a lot.
We liked their energy. We just felt it. And we thought Louis was a professional soccer player or something.
I was like, oh, hey, Louis. And now like they're the ones that we're like the closest to, I would say. But as this, I think Lumumba are really fun. We love Abby and Will.
What you don't hear on the show is Lumumba, which that's how you say it, by the way. Lumumba. Is he has a way with words, and so we would like shuttle, and it was Lumumba talks, and he would just like talk to us about like life and love and how he found Glenda, and me and Quinton would sit in the back just like silently like. Yeah, this is touching.
He was our therapist. It was the coolest thing.
That's great.
In their story and how they met, but even the outside of it, like the petty things that happen when you live in a city like Atlanta, like that kind of stuff. And he was like, oh my God, like no, everybody out here has a fake ass and fake boobs, and everybody wants to be the next Real Housewife. And I was like, and I was in those streets too. You know what I mean? So like just things like that. It really made everybody a person and took the race out of it. And it was really fun to kind of get to know everybody.
And I love Will and Abby.
Yeah.
Will and Abby. Are you guys happy that the Rams beat the Jets?
I mean, we did.
Yeah.
I mean,
rest in peace, Rex Ryan.
I was like, Rex, you still have a ring to prove it. I can go get mine.
I kind of want to see it one more time.
We love talking to you too. It's like we almost don't want it to end. But I guess our last question is, what is something that you guys learned about each other completing the race and like just being a part of this? Like, what is something that you've learned?
We are great travel companions, and we traveled a lot with Rams. Like, we were fortunate enough to, like, Rams took us many places. But when you take away phones and distractions and a really stressful race sometimes, that's a different dynamic. And I think we can both say that we just got each other, like something clicked with it that, and we always talk about it. It's an energy thing for us, is that we feel each other's energy, and we are confident in that when it comes to dancing, but to actually feel each other's energy in very different settings, and settings where we're maybe stressed or feeling a little defeated, maybe homesick, like those types of things, and being able to match each other or to pick each other up in those situations without even having to really talk about it, just to kind of feel each other's energy and to act on that was most meaningful to me. That was really cool.
I mean, we've known each other for 10 years. So, and for most of that, it's been on the court, on the field, in practice, the parties, you know what I mean? But like, to be stuck with, not stuck, that's not like it's a negative, but like when you're forced to be with somebody for so long and all you have is each other, you start picking up on, oh, well, she's a little more sensitive than I thought. I'm a little crazy. I need to calm down. Oh, how can I be there for her? She's missing her boyfriend. How can I try to be there for her, even though I really wasn't? I'm like, get it together. Get it together. Knock that off. Write it down.
He's like, really cool.
But I mean, just being able to figure out, like she said, a lot of nonverbal. Like, there was a lot of moments where we'll be in a hotel room and we weren't mad, but we would both know, okay, we're not speaking today until we leave the room, because we kind of needed that moment. And it wasn't a negative, like, I'm pissed off at her, she's mad at me. It was like, no, you get a little homesick, like, believe it or not, like, even if you're not even like that kind of person, you're like, something's weird. I'm racing around the world. I'm stressed. You know what I mean? The food's all right sometimes. Like, you don't really have your me time and your routine. So being able to kind of non-verbally know when each of us were having that moment was really cool. And I think that's definitely made our relationship stronger. And hopefully that gets me a bridesman invitation to her wedding soon.
Aiming for all sorts of things.
Okay.
Is there anything
Daddy calendar and bridesmaid.
Got lots of coping for sure.
Well, you can tell you two have a fantastic relationship, and just you meshed super well together, and it's a pleasure to watch you both. And I'm excited to see, hopefully, you guys for many, many weeks to come on the television.
Well, that means a lot, especially after last episode, that you still love us and want to see more.
Yeah. Listen, when y'all were stressed out, and then when you hit the dance floor and you were doing a dance thing, and Quinton, that last move, when Quinton was like, I was like, oh, how can you not root for them? I was like, oh, okay, they my favorite.
Like, she, like,
and they don't show my face looking at the judge, and I'm like,
like, please,
right.
Please, please.
I had that face to every judge. I'm like, it's good, right?
The judge was so shady, in my opinion, because he was like, it's not perfect, but it'll do. Like, I was like, oh.
I'm like, you don't tell professional dancers that it's not like it's better than the actual dancers they had dancing there. So it's fine. We knew you were getting it on one try. Either of you want to yodel for us before it's time to go?
Get it, Mattie.
Oh.
Hey, Dee.
Oh.
Hey, oh, they did it.
Yes. We love it. It's been such a pleasure talking to you guys. Hopefully this is not our last time, because I feel like y'all are friends in my head already, but now I feel like we real friends. Congratulations, Mattie, on your engagement. Quinton, fingers crossed that you are the groom's man of honor, and give him a +1.
No. That's too much pressure. Just a groomsman.
Just the groomsman. No, yeah. I just came out of a wedding.
You don't want to like do stuff. You want to be up there with everyone looking at you with how fine you're looking, but you don't want to actually be in charge of like rings or anything.
So good at planning, though. He is an extravagant planner. So
okay. I appreciate that. Well, we love it, and we will continue to watch you, and we will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Guys, thank you so
much
for
having us, guys. This was fun.
It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants podcast. You better get your headphones and listen up quick. Ooh. It's It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.